You have nowhere to run, and no rings to protect you. At last, I can unleash the full force of my hatred. You and all your allies will be killed by your beloved friends, the Emblems.
We have to fight. We have to rescue Marth and the others.
No, Divine One. Veyle has the time crystal and the rings. We're not going to win this one. I don't have to tell you how powerful the emblems are. But we can at least survive this thing. If we make it over there, we might be able to shake off Veyle.
Hey guys, it's Cerulean Jake bringing to you the next episode of Fire Emblem Engage. Chapter 11, Retreat. We are thrown straight into it. It is simply put, life or death. We are not allowed to select our units here. You will automatically deploy every single unit that you had deployed in the previous chapter. This does mean that Citrine has become useless to us, but we can simply re-equip her with some magic. She probably is not going to see any play anyway, so it's not that big a deal. The number one thing we're looking at here is that all of our rings have been stolen. So now, if we try to equip someone, all we've got are the bracelets. Luckily, these are not taken away from us. Now, I will say this. For those of you who like an intense plot or story beat, I recommend you could go get the bracelets if you like. It will enhance your gameplay and let you have a lot more fun. But what you can also do is you can forge a bunch of bond rings. They do not steal the bond rings. And you can go ahead and equip all of these. So, I'm not going to do that because I didn't want to spend a bunch of bond on that. I had some specific builds that I wanted to do, and that would kind of be a little expensive. So instead, what we're going to do... Celine, you are going to equip Veronica.
Veronica! You're sure?
Citrine, you are going to equip Olwen. And speaking of which, before I forget, you are going to trade with Anna, and you're going to grab that Thunder Tome. There we go. That's the button I was looking for. You don't need those anymore, so we'll give the physique over to Anna. We have a couple other ones we want to distribute. I think that it is probably high time that Chloe get her emblem back, in my opinion. And I do have a reason for this.
Edelgard, we shall win.
It's because this is not the only thing that is going to be happening to Chloe. First off, I do want to specify where the Tiki Ring is going to go. You might think, well, of course we need to put an emblem on our MC. I urge you not to do that. I would say your MC is going to be better off with just like a little bond ring, like not even an important one. That gives defense, that's speed. Speed's pretty good, but I don't really need speed. Magic, don't need magic. Deirdre, that's res. Could do one of these. 7. Let's give Diamant some time with the Star Sphere. Let him have fun with that. Alchrist, I will give you Anna. Speed's pretty nice to have. And then Jean, you can have Sharina. Jake, you can go ahead and just have 1 extra defense. That's good enough. Don't really need much for you. Alfred, just in case you get mixed up in a battle, let's go ahead and give you... Let's give you a plus speed. Why the hell not? Okay, now that we have the rings all in a row, this is not the only thing that we are doing for Chloe, is giving her her ring back. We are also going to change class, because we went out of our way to make sure that we had all the proficiencies that we needed. You have 2 options to automatically promote from being a lance flyer. You can be a Griffin Knight or a Wyvern Knight. Now, a Griffin Knight is going to give you whatever your weapon of choice is. Particularly for Chloe, it should probably be lance, as well as healing. And this will allow you to have S-rank lances. Pretty cool, pretty neat. Not super necessary, though, and I don't feel that Chloe ever gets enough magic to really make super good use of staves. And since it's only C rank, you do end up missing out on the really cool staves like Warp and Rescue. Wyvern Knight is my preferred way to go. Now, the big difference here, you do get more build, you do get more strength. However, you are sacrificing your res. It is actively going down. I don't think that's a huge deal. I do think that Air Raid as a skill is much better than Clear the Way. But both are actually good options, strangely enough. I know Engage is not exactly known for great skills, so we are going to become a Wyvern Knight. Now, normally, the better option for Chloe is to become a Wyvern Knight with Lance Sword, because these are the types of weapons that she is better off at wielding. However, good axe units can be hard to come by, so that is why I went through all the effort of making Noatan a good weapon. So we already have a good axe that we can toss on her. As for everyone else, I think they're fairly well equipped. You can go ahead and just use that. I think we already have another... We have a spare energy drop that we haven't used yet. But I do know I'm going to want to use this on you. So let's just go ahead and give it to her. We'll figure out the rest of them later. You don't need all this nonsense. Oops. You don't need that killer axe. You do need a vulnerary. You don't need those staves. I think we're pretty well off here. Now let's swap some spaces around. You do want to put your particularly mobile units in the back. I will say that. Because these guys are right on your tail, and particularly something you need to worry about is that this Micaiah user has freeze. So all of these insanely strong units, no, not this guy, but say, oh, I don't know, Veyle, at level 25 with 28 magic, 20 dex, and so much more, as well as 4 health bars. Yeah, she's a little hard to take down right now, and everyone else, not as threatening, but, I mean, they have emblems, so it makes them a little worse. You also have these 2 giant monsters to deal with. Those aren't easy to get through. It's definitely the preferred method to just go ahead and start running. So we put our best mobile units in the back, followed by, if you don't have any more mobile units, you want to go ahead and put your evasive units. Because this covert unit is less likely to get hit by a freeze. So that is the advantage that we'll be taking. We will be taking from this. I'll go and put you there because you have a straight path. That looks good to me. So we're going to go ahead and save this. just save it right here. And then I am going to fight it out. Let's go. Very important to remember, we do not have the dragon crystal, so any mistakes that you make, at least for now, are permanent.
You got it.
Alright, so we can see that somebody in front of us has Celica and will be doing a Warp Ragnarok on us. Fortunately, they don't do a ton of damage. I will say I am a fan of the somber music. I do think that this will probably get you low enough that holdout won't save you. That's the major thing you want to take note of when you are facing someone with Roy.
I'm ready.
Make sure they don't live on holdouts. We're taking 20 off of Warp Ragnarok, which definitely don't want to be doing that. So we're going to move this way. Let someone else secure this kill.
All flowers eventually wilt.
There's a ring. Now's our chance.
I think not.
Veyle.
I so enjoy your flailing.
Yeah, didn't think it would be that easy, did you? No, sir. Let's keep it moving forward. Get you moved up here.
Go ahead.
You can go here because you should dodge that freeze. Or is it you? Are you going to attack us? You are. Well, you'll dodge that too, so I'm not worried.
Say the word.
You have a lot of mobility, so let's go ahead and get you moving forward. We're going to want to send Chloe over here to deal with all this shenanigans. This guy in particular is a Tomahawk, and we do want that. You know, worst comes to worst, we can always toss it down the well. This guy also has a Master Seal, so make sure that this archer goes down before you escape. Next, we are going to run forward with you, and you can just pivot. So we'll do that. Never really used that skill. May as well, though.
I'll protect you.
You can move forward there. What is your range? Not a huge range, but we do have a couple units still in it. That's no good. Not too concerned about that.
There. Dropped your guard. Was that too much?
You somehow managed to get Yunaka through all of that.
My corrupted soldiers. Kill their every last shred of hope.
So even after you knock out a emblem user, more of them will simply appear. Or that is to say, the emblems will be reassigned to people further along in the map. So, don't just think that once you've dealt with someone that they're gone for good. Now, how are we going to handle this? Technically, Yunaka really could just sit here and dodge forever. 149, yeah, versus 117 hit. It's fine. I'm not too worried about her. We do need to get a move on, though. I do have one thing I need to handle, so I'm going to pause right here. I will cut the video and be right back. Very sorry about this. Sorry about that. We are back and ready to go. Let's go ahead and take care of Corrupted Leaf here. We are needing to watch out for the adaptability. It is constantly going to be switching between all his weapons. But since all of his weapons are shite, it's not that big a deal. I'd really like to use Yunaka here to knock out this guy. But that's not really an option now, is it? Do want to walk up here, kill this guy.
Remember this.
Now, normally what I would be doing here, since we have the Veronica emblem, is I would be summoning a unit and having them come back here and distract everyone. But I don't think that we are in a situation where Yunaka needs to be worried. So I think since she's stuck back there, she's just going to handle all that for us.
I had no choice but to win.
So you have a rapier, so don't want to get up in your business. I think what we'll do is we will heal Jake with the treat. And we will have him attract the attention of this dude. I don't think you get... Yeah, you get Divine Wind, but you don't get a Lodestar Rush. So that's fine. We're not worried about that. And then you're just standing back there, so you're fine. Mind you, I'm not too worried about it. Because even if it was a different unit that can't dodge as well, we always had Anna there with the the rescue staff, so it would have been fine.
Look what you made me do.
Yeah, Anna's just gonna sit here and take care of stuff.
For me.
You're not Anna, Yunaka. What did you get? You got Leaf. I'm not too worried about that. Alright, we're gonna run up here, deal with Mr. Tomahawk. Bring out the new weapon here. That way we're not at a disadvantage. And this probably, if you are going to make Chloe an axe unit, this weapon is probably the best one for her because it is an oddly, I won't say weightless, but it is very lightweight axe. Most of them are not this way. So let's go ahead and... Saline... I might be able to get you one more level. So... Or maybe we don't want to give you... You know what? I don't want to give you that. I don't want you to get a level. So we're going to let that half EXP go to waste. We're going to do that on purpose. Instead, what we're going to do... Can you get to where Jean is standing? You cannot. You can get to where Alfred is standing, though, and longbow him to death. So we'll just move you out of the way. Get that free knockout.
I'll apologize later.
And get us moving up. Did we get frozen again? We did not. Let's make sure we are ducking from cover to cover, because we don't want to lose our covert bonus. Otherwise, we will start taking some hits. And if those dragons are catching up, or whatever you want to call them, the monsters, not as great of a situation. Are going to have to take a hit from the Emblem Lance there, but it's a good chance it'll miss anyway. Not worried about that. It doesn't even do damage. Okay. There's a little bit of good old Divine Dragon stats coming in. Because, I mean, you can see all of our stats are pretty well rounded, minus a couple, notable ones. For some reason, the defense of the Divine Dragon has always been rather good. I know that our activity as well as our bond ring is giving us defense, but 15 is still quite good for a main lord. Especially since someone we've been considering kind of quote-unquote our tank is also sitting at that after the bonuses as at a base value of 12. But he's not truly our tank, so I guess there is some leeway. So he does have range on that, so we can't just attack him willy-nilly. We can, however, these guys won't move because they're trying to block your way out. We can go up here and kill this armor.
All in a day's work.
Off you go. Unfortunately, he's covert and he has the forest. That does put Anna in a little bit of a pickle there. 17 speed compared to the 15. You're not doubling, so I'm not that worried. But what I can do is I could summon. Let Jean take care of this. Jean is also going to be getting quite bulky, which you can already tell. Sitting at 20 defense, base of value of 15. I just mentioned how good 15 is at this point in the game. I don't know if I showed you his stats. If I remember, if I catch it when I'm rewatching this, note to self, flash the Jean Paladin stats on screen, or the growth rates on screen. Jean gets pretty bulky as a paladin, and his damage is pretty damn good too. He doesn't sacrifice a whole lot for not going warrior, which realistically, if we're looking at the growth rates, is probably the best class in the game, warrior. But I don't think we're too worried about that. I think Jean is doing just fine as a paladin. So what we're going to do... I'm going to engage.
Please grant me your strength.
We're going to summon a hero. What are you? You're a dagger. Let's see if we can't get some range off of colorless.
It is time to honor your contract.
Only got a 3-star. That's a pretty nice target that he may want to go after, because it's a Thunder Mage. You are still in a concerning situation, so we'll move you up. You're not the one I wanted targeting that, so that's unfortunate. Or wait, no, you are. You just got a different emblem. So Yunaka's still doing fine. It's just everything that's catching up to her that's a problem. You did get stuck again.
The corrupted alone aren't enough. Hounds, take care of these pests.
We will no longer be needing to deal with a lot of the emblems.
I understand what must be done.
Which of those morons is gonna be my first victim?
Orders are orders. I just hope the other side gets a few good slices on me.
We won't let them escape, Lady Veyle. You have my word.
More enemies are coming. We cannot allow them to slow us down.
They're cutting us off! How can we endure this?
The Divine Dragon's forces. Good. I was afraid we wouldn't catch them in time.
It does not look so good to me. They are being chased, and they have no emblems. We had best get them these rings.
I am back, Princess Ivy.
Zokov, how did you fare?
I was unable to recover the stolen rings from the Dragon Girl, but I did get this.
Oh, pretty crystal.
Perhaps these gifts will be enough to get them out of this bind.
Let's hope so. Hello, Divine One.
Princess Ivy! Why are you here?
I wanted to try one last time to change my father's mind. I was too late, but I did retrieve these rings from Dystinea Cathedral.
You got 2 rings?
Yes, here they are. The ring of the Lady of the Plains, and the ring of the Princess Exalt.
Are you sure about this? Turning against your own country?
Right now, turning against Lucia is the only way to save it. For my kingdom, for my father. This is the only course of action. I know this isn't enough to atone for all I've done, but... will you let me join your side?
Of course I will. Thank you. The ring of the Lady of the Plains belongs with you, since it was entrusted to Lucia.
Sweep across, emblem of blazing.
I'm Lindis. Just call me Lynn. Ready to turn this battle around?
Emblem Lynn. If not Emblem Micaiah, say hello to the strongest emblem in the game. We may have just lost what is possibly the strongest emblem in the game, and we replaced it with the other contender for strongest emblem in the game. I will go over it in a minute.
Reignite us, emblem of awakening.
Marth! No, that can't be right.
It is I, Lucina.
Lucina!
I may not be the Hero King, and I cannot replace him, but I can aid you. I strive to be a light in the dark, a light for all who have fallen to despair. For now we may only escape, but as long as we survive, hope will abide. Now, engage with me.
Say hello to the second worst emblem in the game. And before we start getting any comments about slander and all that, don't worry, don't worry. Saying that Lucina is the second worst emblem in the game, from my opinion, is honestly saying something about the strength of these emblems, because I rather like Lucina, and I think she's quite strong. But again, we will cover her in just a second.
I have one more gift for you, Divine One.
The Draconic Time Crystal. How did you get it?
I borrowed it. While it is not one of the stolen rings, perhaps it will help.
Thank you.
Ivy, Zelkov, and Kagetsu have all joined your group, as well as getting 2 new emblems. Holy crap, we have a lot to cover. Let's jump straight into it. Ivy is a flying mage. This is something that you do not see often. And she makes it work. She does have a few pronounced weaknesses, particularly mages are one of the few people that I would say that archers are typically good against mages, but they at least stand a chance. She kind of turns that into a no-win scenario by being a flyer, but you were already at disadvantage, so just stay away from archers. It's really not that big of a deal. She is also a very specific class. She is not just simply magic flyer, kind of like Chloe was a lance flyer. She is one of the lord classes. And therefore, she is going to get a bunch of interesting and unique stuff that nobody else is going to get. Particularly, let's go over her... let's start by going over... Whoops. Her personal skill, single-minded. During combat with a foe who was also unit's most recent opponent, grants hit plus 20. So, what this does, if you initiate on a foe, then that basically marks the foe as your most recent enemy. And if you failed to kill them in one hit, then the next round you're going to be significantly more likely to hit. So let's say that you missed, or maybe you just didn't do enough damage. This is going to cover that, which is good because for a flyer and a mage, for a flyer mage, Ivy is oddly bulky. Take a look at her growth rates, as well as her base stats. She has a 12 and 16 for base. Excuse me, that's probably a 15 in res. And then if you look at the growth rates, just in her base class, it's already 40 and 55. Those are pretty damn good defensive growth rates, and they only get better when she promotes. Also taking a look at her magic growth rate, it's a 50, which I believe, in terms of the units that start as a magic class, is only surpassed by Citrine. I could double check really quick. Yeah, it's only surpassed by Citrine. This is probably your best mage in the game without reclassing. And for that reason, I know we are sort of stacking mages at this point. She will very much be taking Citrine's place on our team as a permanent member. I very much like this unit. I think she's quite strong, and I think you will learn to like her as well. At the very worst, she comes equipped with B rank stabs at her base class. I think you will find that even if you don't like her combat, she will serve you well as a support. Her biggest weakness is her speed. And I assure you, if Citrine can cover her speed, then Ivy can too. Next up, let's talk about another replacement for a character if it didn't work out for you. Zelkov is your second thief and last thief in the game. If Yunaka did not work out for you, this is a bit of a downgrade, but he does work out just fine. I have used him before. I was quite happy with his performance. He was noticeably weaker than Yunaka was. I did the exact same build. I also played around with some other ideas that theoretically could have worked, but just probably weren't as good as the build that Yunaka typically does. I think that Zelkov is a very good unit. Just a tier below Yunaka is the thing. If I remember correctly, his sort of inverse here is that he kind of sacrifices a little bit of speed in favor of being a little bit stronger and a little bit bulkier. But he also has a 50% speed growth rate with a base of 19, so he's already quite good at it. So, yeah, this unit is very, very good. His signature ability, Not Quite, is very similar to Yunaka's, where you kind of just want to wait and let opponents come to you. Because Yunaka, hers is, I believe, if you are, if you have a terrain advantage. But normally the way that you're going to take advantage of that is by letting the opponent initiate on you, which essentially makes it the same as Zelkov's Not Quite. Inflicts minus hit on the foe. This is a way that you can make it so Zelkov is just untouchable. But Yunaka already does that and gets a lot of crit off of her personal skill. So you can see why this is a little bit of a downgrade, especially since we've already had time to train Yunaka. Overall, great unit. Just little downgrade. Use him if your Yunaka didn't turn out quite the way you wanted her to. Biggest downside of Kagetsu. Because his entire model is gray, it is almost impossible to tell if he has moved or not. Man, I hate that. That is the most annoying aspect of the character. Kagetsu is quite possibly the best unit in the game. It's probably Alear. Alear is probably the best unit in the game. If you try to take out the special privileges that the main character gets and just talk about all the other recruitable units, I think it's Kagetsu. We were talking earlier, by earlier I mean like a couple episodes ago, I mentioned that Lapis has some serious competition, and she is good, but she falls so flat when compared to her competition that it's really hard to justify using her. Kagetsu is it. He has a 17 base strength, which is rather good for a swordsmaster, as well as a dex and speed of 22. That's kind of insane for this point in the game. His defenses are also nothing to laugh at. His signature, his personal skill, Blinding Flash. If unit initiates, inflicts a void minus on the foe, basically making sure that you land your hits. This is more like icing on a cake that is already covered in icing. Like, he's gonna hit everything anyway. This is just, okay, you're definitely gonna hit. I guess this could be really good for initiating on covert units that are occupying some special terrain. Other than that, I mean, it's just, it is what it is. It's not the most important part of Kagetsu. It's just the fact that his base stats are insane. And by the time you get to the late game and they might be falling off, particularly his strength, since it's only a 40 growth rate, which is good, but it's just not perfect. His base stats get you close enough that you'll never really notice. He'll be fine. Particularly, I might recommend, if you're going to use him, reclassing him to the hero class, because while Swordsmaster is actually a good class, I have used it and it is strong. Hero is good, and it actually pairs quite well with an emblem that we're going to cover now. Lucina is, like I said, in my opinion, the second worst emblem in the game, which is saying something when I think she is quite a strong emblem. And that is to say, the emblem rings. I'm not really bringing the other ones into this conversation. I think that if you've written off Lucina because she didn't provide all the same direct offensive bonuses that Marth did, try again. I think you'll be impressed. So, Lucina, she gives dexterity, speed, and luck. Oh, by the way, this is the reason that you don't want to equip an emblem ring to Alir, because he'll get rid of it in favor of this. You may as well spread the love around. Back to Lucina. She has a lot of great skills. So, the first off is Dual Strike. The unit participates in chain attacks as if it were a backup unit. So long as you have this equipped, if you are adjacent to an ally, then you can participate in chain attacks. Which, as I've told you, chain attacks are really nice to have, to just chip that little extra damage to make sure you secure the kill. Super nice to have, super handy, but, I mean, making sure that you're standing adjacent to foes all the time, I mean, that sucks. Which is exactly why Lucina has dual assist. If the unit is able to chain attack, unit will do so when allies attack foes that the unit could reach by moving. Now, this does have a trigger percentage, and it starts out quite low at 35%, and you can upgrade it by getting Dual Assist Plus. That'll go to 70%. Let's give you an example. So, I'm a backup unit, and let's just say I've already earned Dual Assist. I haven't, but let's say I did. Kagetsu comes up here and attacks this Lance Fighter because we're dumb. Well, this Lance Fighter is fairly bulky, and I have disadvantage, so there's a good possibility that I wouldn't land the kill. As a matter of fact, we don't. He survives on 5. If we use steel, okay, we kill him with steel, but let's just pretend. If we want that extra little chip, we are in range. If we moved Jake, we would be able to reach. Which means there's a 35% chance, or 70 if you upgrade it, that we'll just run up and do a chain attack. And that applies to every single unit that is in our range, which is this mage, this lance fighter, this archer, this lance fighter, and this thief. All of those would be subject to our chain attacks, which is insane to me. So, that in and of itself is the #1 reason why Lucina is good. However, she has more. Dual support. Let's bring this back up. Dual support. Avoid is increased by unit's support level with adjacent allies. So, this is actually a good reason to keep Lucina on Jake, or, well, Alir, the main character, because I already recommended that you be raising your support with everyone with the main character first. This means if you are adjacent to allies, the amount of support that you have should already be quite high with everyone. And the fact that the main character supports with everyone that you can recruit, your avoid should just skyrocket, and you should pretty much never be taking hits. So that's already really good. And as I'm reading here on the wiki, it says that it goes up to a maximum of 90 avoid. I don't know what you need to do to get there. Maybe a bunch of A ranks, but holy crap, that makes you just untouchable. Talking about her weapons, we have the Noble Rapier, the Parthia, and the Parallel Fashion. Fashion, really? Falchion. The Noble Rapier is just a rapier. I mean, it might have some different stats, but it's effective against cavalry and armored. That's the big part. If you're used to using the rapier from Marth, then you won't notice a difference. Parthia. It is a bow, which means this unit will enable you to get a 2-range weapon just upon engaging. Now, Parthia has a long and storied history in the Fire Emblem series, being reused in many games. But in this game, Much like Mercurius, it doubles the earned experience of the user. However, unlike Mercurius, it also grants you +5 res and is effective against flyers because it's a bow. It's pretty damn good. But because it's a bow, it comes with the inherent downside of being 2 range, not 1 to 2 range. Lastly, we have the Parallel Falchion. I mean, it's really no different than the Falchion. Again, the stats are different. It's a little weaker, but it trades that for some crit rate. And it's effective against dragons. There you go. Last up, we have Bonded Shield, which is her engage skill. The unit prevents the first attack on adjacent allies until your next turn. Trigger percent 80%. I believe this is something that you need to activate, if I'm remembering correctly. Let me go ahead and just engage with her to find out.
Emblem, engage.
Yes. As far as I'm reading this, and as far as I understand, this is essentially a chain guard, just with a percentage tacked onto it rather than a health requirement. So, I've already told you my thoughts on chain guarding. This is pretty damn good. The only reason that I don't call this sensational, like S tier skill, is because it requires that you engage to use it. Now, if it were free, and you could just use it all the time, then I assure you, Lucina would not be this low on the list of emblem rings. So it is fair that it requires you to engage. It's just that when you engage, you kind of want to accomplish a whole lot more than just shielding a bunch of allies. So it's more something that you'll use sometimes, and not something that you'll be using strictly using this ring for. I will say you could equip this ring to someone who is more bulky. I've actually equipped this ring to Alfred before and got amazing results. So yeah, I say that that's a decent idea. Since Alfred is not necessarily one to attack every single turn, since he is not the strongest unit ever, you'd be able to make good use out of that bonded shield every now and again. And lastly, we have All for One. It sounds amazing, but it's actually pretty trash. Used to make a sword attack against an adjacent foe, all allies within 2 spaces, chain attack. That sounds great. It's such a specific requirement that you'd have to set up for. And because it's a chain attack, I'm pretty sure it prevents you from doubling. Because it's an engage attack. I just don't see this as good. But I mean, if it's equipped to a dragon, then the chain attacks are guaranteed to hit. So I mean, at least there's that, right? Yeah. You can see why I think that this is the second worst. However, because of those couple skills that I really talked up, you also see why I don't think that this unit is, or rather, emblem, is bad in any way. It's just that it has incredibly stiff competition. Except for Leaf. Finally, we have Emblem Lyn. Like I said, if it's not the best, then the second best emblem in the game. Let's just... Can we maneuver so we can actually... Yeah, alright. Well, we're just gonna get her profile, I guess, because Ivy's kind of ruined it for us. Emblem Lyn is... Let me put it to you this way. To those of you that are experienced Fire Emblem players, I ask you, what is the most important stat in the game? And please don't go down to the comment section and start a flame war over this. It's... okay, yeah. I hear you. I hear all of you shouting, "Oh, it's strength." Okay, well, yeah, strength is good, but it's frequently argued. I think that most Fire Emblem players will typically tell you it's speed, and that is what this unit gets you. Speed, like, all the way through. That is what this unit does. It grants you res, dex, and speed as your stats. And your sync skills. First, I'm actually not going to cover the one that is on the screen first. I'm going to cover the one that we have just in the little visual that I threw on here. Let's cover Speed Taker first. Speed Taker is actually a pretty high value skill. And if you are having trouble doubling foes, you want to equip this. It's actually quite strong. Grants a stacking speed +2 each time the unit initiates combat and defeats a foe. The bonus lasts for the rest of the battle with a maximum of 10. There is no Speed Taker Plus, and it only costs 2,000 SP. This is a really good skill. This is a very, very strong skill. Okay, I'll give you the fair warning. The downside of this skill is that getting +10 speed and keeping it and using it throughout the whole battle is Candyland. Like, we're kind of dreaming at that point. I guess people call it Disneyland. It's where dreams are made of. So, it's you're dreaming if you think that you're going to get +10 speed and then sweep the rest of the map with it. By the time you do get +10 speed, which is 5 kills that you specifically initiated, the map's pretty much done. So, I mean, yeah, you can have +10 speed for the boss, and that's good. But it's not super necessary, per se. That said, getting a +2 speed just off of getting 1 kill is already extremely good. Getting +4 off of 2 kills, like, you're set. If you are putting this on a unit that has even, like, a decent speed, say, oh, I don't know, Ivy? Not a good speed, but a decent one. Yeah, you kind of just are set up for the rest of the battle to just go off. And then anything you get on top of that is, gravy. It's just extra. And like I said, it only costs 2,000. Yeah, 2,000 is a lot of SP, but in the grand scheme of things, what you're spending on other stuff, 2,000's a bargain. So that's an incredible skill, but what am I using all that speed for? Once I double somebody, that's it. Well, that's where Alacrity comes in. If the unit initiates combat and has a speed advantage of 9 or more, the unit's follow-up attack occurs before the foe can even counterattack. Which means, instead of the turn order being I hit, you hit, I hit, it's I hit, you hit. In the sense that it basically makes anything that you have a brave weapon. It is incredibly strong. It's not the same because brave weapons can allow you to quadruple hit. So just don't get locked up on the exact definition. Just know, I hit, you hit. I have the full advantage of that, and I will probably kill you before you ever get to react. Now, 9 speed is a lot of speed, which is why you want to upgrade this, spend the extra SP, if you're inheriting it, that is. Eventually, it will go down to where it is just, do you double? Okay, you follow up before they can hit you. That's it. It's just an advantage of 5. Those are actually her only 2 sync skills. She does not have 3 like a lot of other people do. So we can move on to her weapons. That is the Killer Bow, the Manicotti, and the Muligir. The Killer Bow, I don't really need to go over. It is a bow that has a high crit rate. The Manicotti, I believe, has a bit of a different No, it doesn't, actually. It is the same. It is effective against cavalry and armored and has a very good crit rate. The might is pretty low, though, so I imagine you won't end up using it a bunch. Especially if you decide to keep Lyn on Ivy. She will never touch this thing, and as a matter of fact, she will never touch any of those weapons because they're all based on strength. Speaking of, we have Muligir, which, if I remember correctly, yes, it grants you +5 speed and is effective against flying, and that says dragon. I don't remember that being the case. I could double check it. The wiki says dragon. We'll choose to believe it. Because it probably knows better than I. It is pulling it from Roy's game, not Lyn's game, so all of those weapons were effective against dragons, so I guess that makes sense. The big point of this is that it gives you +5 speed. The reason that I end up not using Muligir very often, even though it is quite strong, is because +5 speed on having Lyn giving you another 5 speed just for being bonded with her. You don't need it. It's, again, gravy. This is the big argument as why some people say that strength is more important than speed. It's because once you hit a certain benchmark on speed, it becomes no longer important and you only need strength. I get the argument, and this emblem in particular kind of shows you why speed is, like, you really only need to be hitting benchmarks. But I hardly call that a downside. It's just making sure that you get what you need out of it. You constantly have the speed advantage. Finally, we have our skills here. We have Call Doubles. You will create 4 illusory doubles, as we saw with Hyacinth. They will stand still, they have 1 HP, and they will follow up attack when you attack. Or rather, backup attack when you attack. What is the main purpose of using these things? I assure you, it's not for the backup attacks. Enemy AI has some very interesting quirks, in that if they read that they can kill you, they'll try. So suddenly, whatever unit you're putting this on becomes the best tank in the game, because they can walk into an army of units and have 4 people that will die before they even get touched. That is the primary use of call doubles that I have found. Yes, it is also nice when they back you up. Finally, we talk about Aster Storm. You have a range of 10, and you launch 5 bow attacks at 30% damage. This is going to be pretty well useless on Ivy. There are other people who make insane use out of it, which I will be covering, because of course I'm using Lyn. Are you kidding me? Let's bring this map to a close now, shall we? This guy is once again using the terrain against us, so we are going to come up and use some magic on him. You have a steel dagger, so it doesn't really matter where I hit you from. Just so long as I hit you. Got you covered. I don't think Alchrist can actually reach anything, nor can... Oh, actually you can. It's just, I don't think you can hit. Yeah, you're not hitting that. I'm not even going to try. You're also not reaching anything, but you can give somebody a crystal if you wanted to, which I will do because it's actually just, it's just EXP. May as well.
For all our sake.
Thank you.
Back, we get that level up boosted with Tiki. Not bad. You know, we take that. We get the build, the defense, the speed. We take those. Saline, go ahead and come up here and finish this.
I will not forget your loss.
So here's the thing. I did mention Kagetsu being an insane unit. I would love to show you Kagetsu and how strong he can be. However, I noted that I already had plenty of sword units, and it really doesn't take a whole lot for me to tell you, reclass him into a hero, equip him with Lucina, done deal. Game over. The reason being, the hero gets the ability to do 2 backup attacks instead of 1, and pair that with Lucina being able to just backup attack at a range on everything. It's an incredible combo that I love using, and then just the stats of Kagetsu just back it up and make it completely worth using. That said, I won't be using Kagetsu because you can do that on your own. It is an incredible combo that you don't need to see. Just trust me on it. I swear. Let's go ahead and knock this guy out. I don't think we're in such a rush.
Everyone's safe.
We can't even finish the map this turn anyway, because the Divine Dragon would need to claim... Oh my god. Such a good level. Everything except for magic, which is useless, and luck, which is mostly useless. Yeah. It feels good not being guilty about using Chloe again. It's very nice. We do want to come up.
No mistakes.
I attack you at a range. I mean, you won't do much damage, but we can. At the very least, we can do it, and so we shall. We'll zap him, get a bit of EXP. Go ahead and knock out this mage, because he could be a little annoying.
I had to stop you.
How is Yunaka doing back there? Can she move? No, she can't, so she may as well just knock out this guy.
Was that too much?
Like I said, if she were in true danger, I would have prioritized rescuing her. I don't think she's in danger. It's gonna take the hounds a long time to get to us. Now, I assure you, we don't want to fight them, especially not all of them at the same time. That is a recipe for disaster, but it takes them a minute to actually even reach us, so it's not a big deal. So we just move up with everybody, and we are good to go. I don't know who... This mother... I thought you had moved, and I couldn't tell because you're all gray. Ugh. So now they can actually reach Yunaka, but Yunaka is not only long gone, but on top of that, this map is over. So all we have to do is... Let's use Anna on... Oh, the chain guard. Let's handle the chain guard first.
I'm sorry.
In fact, instead of Anna, what we might try to do here, let's try to secure this with Ivy. We can't, unfortunately. You do have them speed issues, which is why they want to pair you so badly with Lyn. But I have a different idea in mind. So you're going to walk up and attack. Let you finish the kill. Oh, did you have Roy? You did. Actually, like I said, Yunaka's long gone, so I'm not worried about her getting knocked out. So, I just want to optimize my EXP. I don't want to give it to anybody.
I need to be more diligent.
Anybody I'm not using, since we already have so many units that we are using. Get a crit? Nope. Fair enough. We'll go ahead and take the kill with Jake here.
Dream well.
And that is pretty much the map. We just got to intern and then move. The flyers are getting some stuff now. I mean, can we steal a little bit of EXP? Alright, cool. I know we can't kill Roy because of holdout. Or the Peg Knight that is holding Roy. But we don't need to. We're leaving. That is the end.
Come on, everyone. Let's get out of here.
This way. We can travel to Solm through this forest. I hate to abandon Hortensia, but staying in the kingdom is not an option.
There's too much we're leaving behind.
Father. It's painful, but we can't turn back. We'd lose everything.
I will lead the way.
I failed you, Marth. I failed you all.
So, Ivy was scheming against us. She stole 2 emblems from right under my nose. How irksome. Regardless, the advantage is mine. I have all of the rings they gathered. You shall all be destroyed. I will gut your allies, burn down your countries, and crush your spirits.
We should be safe now.
Veyle is Sombron's daughter, and now she has our emblem rings. I'm sorry, everyone. I should never have brought us to the cathedral.
It's not your fault, Divine One.
I should apologize. I asked you to let me fight. I was so angry about what they'd done.
What about me? I'm the one who wanted to return Father to Brodia.
That was illogical.
Excuse me? If you hadn't gotten in the way...
Calm down, everyone. We're on the same side.
No, we're not. If not for her, we might have made it in time. We might have saved him.
Alchrist. Princess Ivy told us about the ritual in the first place. Without her help, Father would still be one of those creatures.
Diamant? She helped kill our father. Why are you making excuses for her?
Princess Ivy's not to blame. Her father was. And the Fell Dragon murdered him. There wasn't even a body left behind.
Arguing won't get us anywhere.
Apologies, Divine One. Princess Ivy, I hope you'll forgive my brother. He spoke out of turn.
No, it's all right. I am sorry that I couldn't stop the ritual.
I can't bear the thought that I'll never see him again. And the ring he spent his whole life protecting. Gone.
We have suffered loss after loss. But the emblems aren't dead. We can still get them back. And we will. I know we will.
Divine One.
You still have emblems on your side.
That's right. Don't forget about us.
Lynn. Lucina.
All is far from lost. We can offer our unique strengths as emblems.
You can still challenge your fate. You don't lose by retreating.
I wish it didn't come to this. My mother told me that a divine dragon should never run away.
We're not running away. As Lucina said, we're retreating. There's a difference. Time and again, you've shown true bravery, even in the face of daunting odds. But refusing to move on, that's not bravery, it's folly.
There's courage, and there's stubbornness. Lumera would have taught you the difference. Unfortunately, in your short time together, she didn't have the chance.
Perhaps that's why Marth said what he did outside the cathedral.
Probably so.
Now at least, I understand. We're not running away. We're stepping back, gathering our strength for the next battle. I'll become a better fighter, a better leader. I'll make sure no one, not one more person, loses their life under my command. And I'll bring back our friends, the Emblems. What do you say, everyone? Are you with me?
You know I am. Let's turn the tables on them.
I won't rest until we reclaim what we've lost.
Even now you have hope. I will stand with you too, Divine One.
I will help too, if you'll have me.
Thank you, everyone. Now, to the Queendom of Solm. Stay with me, and I promise to keep you safe.
It is quite the position that we've been put in. But we have no choice but to continue. But that doesn't have to be right now. After all, we have our chores to do, as well as all of the precious metals that the dogs have brought us. So, we will continue on into the only kingdom that we haven't visited to this point. We will move forward to Solm. I'll see you in the next one.